This is Zurich Chess Challenge 2014. It's currently being played in Zurich, Switzerland. This is the highest average rated tournament in the history of chess. Average rating 2801, a category 23. Incredible. The lineup: Carl Nakamura, my buddy from the United States. Magnus Carlsen from Norway, new world champion. Vishy Anand, former world champion from India. Fabiano Caruana, representing the Italian Federation. Levin Aronian, number 2 in the world, representing Armenia. And Boris Gelfand from Israel, former world championship challenger. What a great lineup, what a great tournament. Don't miss any of these games. Hi folks, John Cordisco back again with another great chess video for you. I'm really excited. This is round 1 of the Zurich Chess Challenge 2014. The highest average rated tournament in the history of chess. 2,801 average rating. Let's get right to the action. It's a great game between the new world champion, get used to that I guess, Magnus Carlsen from Norway, and Boris Gelfand from Israel, former world championship challenger. Carlsen has white, Gelfand black. It's going to be a Fianchetto Grunfeld. Go through the opening here. I've seen a lot of this a million times. Castles, knight. Knight comes back. Bishop f4. This is a great game. Great game by Carlsen, I gotta tell you. The kid's he really has it. Bishop f5. Queen moves. Queen b6. Knight. Interesting though that Magnus didn't put the knight here. Instead, knight d4. e3. Queen takes, pawn takes. Now I've got my Fritz 13 computer on off screen. It's a tidy advantage for white. We'll call it even, quarter of a pawn. Knight to a6. Knight's got to go somewhere. I was surprised he went there. The computer calls the best move is knight to a6 as well. But I would have put him on d7. That's why Boris is one of the world, or I should say Magnus is one of the world-class players as well as Boris, and that's why I'm not. Knight to a6, c takes, c takes. Now this is a move that the computer doesn't pick at all until it runs for a little while. And it was a move that really took a lot of calculating and all the skills that Magnus has. See if you can guess the move that Magnus makes to activate his bishops. His bishops are kind of clogged up right now, especially the light squared bishop on g2. He really has nowhere to go. He's kind of stuck in there. Magnus makes the computer move. g4. Who saw that coming? Bishop takes, knight takes, pawn takes. Now he's going to put pressure on this pawn here. His dark squared bishop is a lot freer. Knight to d2. Now he's putting pressure on the e4 pawn. f5. In order to save that pawn and bury that light squared bishop, he's got to hem in his bishop. But later, after this rook moves, this bishop can come in. The bishop is free again. Great move. Great pawn sacrifice by Magnus. f3. e5. d takes. If f takes, e takes, g takes, g takes, rook takes, bishop h6, bishop takes, f takes, rook check, king h8, rook takes. After all that goofing around, black is up a bishop for 2 pawns. Yeah, follow that one. E takes, knight takes. So here we are. His light squared bishop is now free. They took a lot of maneuvering. It's bearing down on this diagonal. Very powerful light squared bishop. And black's light squared bishop is basically worthless right now. Rook e8. The pile up on the e-pawn. Now he activates his rook and protects his pawn. Great move by Magnus. Knight to b4, and Gelfand is defending, I think, gallantly. Knight to d4. b6, rook takes, bishop takes. Instead of retaking, Magnus challenges the rook. The rook goes to f6, and then h3, hitting the light squared bishop. Bishop to h5. Interesting might have been bishop takes d4 instead. After e takes, bishop e2. I think that might have been the way to go. It gets his light squared bishop out. After bishop to h5, knight to c2, g5, bishop takes. He has to give up that pawn to get the rook into a decent square. If black plays knight takes, bishop takes, knight to e3, bishop takes, rook to c1. And white has a huge advantage. Not only up the exchange, but almost a 4-point advance. And he's threatening mate now as well. So after rook to g6, excuse me, rook takes f5. Not as good as knight takes. Then after rook takes, knight to d5, king to h8. I think that lets black off the hook. After rook takes, pawn to h6. Again, knight to c2 takes c2 is very tempting, but after bishop d5 check, king h8, rook takes, white has a commanding advantage. Up 2 pawns. His bishops are ready to move in for the kill. His rook's on the 7th rank. Bad news. Bishop takes. Rook takes h6. That was, I think, a miscue by Gelfand. Now, at this point, Gelfand's really short on time. He ended up having, I think, less than a minute for like the last 10 moves to move 40, and we're on move 29. He played rook takes h6. The computer suggests instead bishop to f3, knight takes, rook takes, king to f1, bishop e4, rook checks, or excuse me, rook takes, bishop takes, bishop takes. He's still up 2 pawns, but I think black might be able to hold this draw. After rook takes h6, knight takes, bishop takes. White's up 2 pawns. And try to defend this position. Yeah, whether it's Carlsen or not is immaterial. Then you add the fact that it's Magnus Carlsen, but if instead of bishop taking, if he had bishop to g6, rook to f2, rook to h7, rook to a6, that's a little bit better for black, but not much. Knight to d5, king to h8, rook to b7. He wants that knight there. Bishop d1, b4, just move the pawn. Interesting might have been rook takes, knight takes, rook takes. That would have let black off the hook completely, if you're wondering why rook didn't take. After b4, this is a tough spot. And you're Gelfand. He goes rook to g8. I mean, what else could he do? I mean, he's boxed in here. It's terrible for him. Knight d7, rook moves, bishop e4. I mean, here he is, Magnus, moving in for the kill. Bishop f6. He's trying to defend the best he can. Rook takes the pawn. King to g7. Maybe slightly better might have been rook to e8. But after rook takes, rook takes, rook takes, rook takes, I mean, you're down 3 full pawns. It's a disaster. So I guess he took the choice. He'd rather get poked in the eye with a dull stick instead of a sharp one. He went rook to f2. Magnus did, and Boris Gelfand from Israel, former world championship challenger, resigns. The computer suggestion the follow-up would be bishop g4, knight, bishop takes, rook takes, knight takes. And it's a disaster for black. Anyway, folks, that's one game from round one. I hope you enjoyed it. It's going to be a great tournament, the highest average in the history ever of chess. I want you all to remember, if you think chess is just a game, you're not playing it right. And I want to thank all my new subscribers and hope everyone follows the upcoming videos in this great tournament. Take care, folks. Bye-bye.